Hello, welcome back to Lulu's Way, where I do everything Lulu's Way. And I'm glad you're here. Just thought I'd update you on a few things that I tweaked and worked with in my van. Things are coming down to the wire, and I'm really excited. So I'll show you some of the few things that I did. So a few people have asked me about the decals, and I found a home for the decals. So I put the sun right here on the side of the Berkey stand. I put the dragonfly on the Berkey. I put the sunflower on the end of my cabinet. And I put the compass right here on the palette cabinet. I like that there, but I know that there's something else. I know there's something else that belongs there. And I picture it to be about this big, and I picture it to be wrought iron, or at least look like wrought iron, and just have some kind of design to it, and very low profile, so I'm not banging it. And yeah, I have. I'm just going to wait for it to come into my world. So I put some more of these white on white flowers all around the doors. I put a few more up here, and I also put them all along up here. See them over here. And I put some all down here as well. Up here where that wiring was. So I went to Michael's craft store and I picked this. There was a 6-foot strand of garland, and I was trying to match the color of this green as much as I could. And I thought that kind of takes care of the whole wire thing, the tape thing. And I thought it looked very nice. So I only used about 4 feet. So the other 2 feet I stuck right here. It's just sitting right on top of the cabinets. And then I had this idea that I would put my umbrella on 2 of these magnet hooks. And I thought that this looked kind of cool. It's not really necessary because it would make the most sense for me to have a little tiny traveling umbrella. But there's something about that that looks kind of cool. So I'm still thinking about it. It's just sitting on the magnets. It's not installed or anything. And I kind of like these kind of umbrellas better. Like when it is raining, they're nice and big. They flip up, and opposed to the little compact ones that, in my experience, break all the time. So that is a possibility that I'll have that there, because I think I like the way it looks, and it's also functional, and it also covers the duct tape. And I just like this greenery sitting right here. It's just very simple. I thought about utilizing this space because I could use it for things. I could put a little spice rack up there, but I don't think I need it. I really don't think I'll need it. A few people have asked me about the dragonflies. It's like, where's the dragonfly? So I put one here. I put one here. I put one here. And I put one up here in the garland. And I think that's enough. I have a pile of them, but I think that's enough. So I'm really loving these two coordinating wall panels. You know, what I really thought about, the busyness of all the different patterns, like from this view, I only see the leads. If I'm turned this way, I only see what's here. If I'm turned that way, I only see the zebra. Like you never really see them all at the same time. And that's why I kind of wanted each wall to have its own thing. And it works. This just works really well for me. I just love this. So I was going to hang my coat right here, but it turns out that there's about 2 inches of space at the top. It does get bigger down the bottom, but in order for my coat to not drag on the floor, it would need to be hung up high, and I would always needing to be tucking it in to close the door. Don't want to deal with that. So I just put this magnet hook right here, and I'm thinking that this just works right here. It also serves, even though this is not, I don't consider this like an eyesore. It's very tidy and kind of sharp looking, but it's still, it still doesn't hurt to have it covered up. So I just thought like right there is a very good spot to hang my jacket. And this is all can be changed, which is really amazing. So let me show you another thing I did over this side. This is my backpack that I use kind of as my purse. So if I was going on a hike, I would throw this on my back if I wanted to carry things with me. It's very comfortable. It's Vera Bradley. It was like my work bag when I was working. That was my bag that I put all my stuff and went and commuted to work every day. So it's lovely. It's very, very comfortable, and it's very good quality. I really like this. So I keep my little purse in here. I keep other little things in here too. And so I thought there is more space down the bottom here. I just hung this hook, and I thought this would be a great place for my purse. It clears the door, and this would be, because I need a place to put this, and I don't want to put it on the bed because I don't want the bed any higher I don't want stuff on the bed when I'm driving. I want to see out the windows really well. So I don't want to put it there. And then when I'm going to go to bed, I got to move it here. And then I don't like to move stuff. I like everything to be where it belongs. I like everything to have a space as much as possible. So this is going to be the spot for that. And this is my little license plate with my name on it. And that has a little story. When I was a little girl, I remember being just so envious and jealous of all the other kids that got the little nameplates for their bikes. Nancy and Debbie and Diane and Donna, Cheryl. They all had the names on their bike, but not me, not me. So I remember just feeling uh, just very deprived. And so many years later, I'm going to say about 3 years ago, I was telling my kids that story. And the next year on my birthday, my son comes up to me and he says, "Mom, I have a I have your birthday present for you. It's behind my back." And I was like, "What? What is it?" And he puts his hands out, and it was a license plate, a bike license plate with my name on it. It meant the world to me. He gives very, very thoughtful gifts. And this has been in my van ever since he gave it to me, in both vans, in both in this is the third build that it's been in, but it's always going to have a spot in it because it just means the world to me. So that's that. And if you haven't noticed yet, I covered the freezer. And yes, I brought another pattern in. I found this left over from some curtain I cut up years ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice little pattern. I know it's another pattern. I know people have been like, lots of patterns. You got a lot of patterns there, Lulu." And I know. I don't think I think any interior decorator that's watching my channel is probably cringing at what I'm doing with different fabrics. But that's okay, because I like to do it Lulu's way. So I made the cover. Great, great, great suggestions from so many of you that I didn't think of. Instead of putting a bed skirt on there, just to put a cover on it. And that cover does not cover any of the ventilation that the freezer needs. It's all on the other side. And it's perfect. So thank you so much for that suggestion, because it didn't even occur to me to do that. So I love that right there. And I love to continue to see the green bed. Speaking of the green bed, I noticed something about the green bed. Right here, when this nail was banged, it cracked the wood. So it's a little, you can just see it's going to weaken right there. So I need to fix that. So what I decided I was going to do is, so this was an L bracket, but I smashed it with a hammer. So I made it flat. Instead of L-shaped, it's an I. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark these 3 holes right under here. I'm going to lift it up so that this crack closes up, and I'm going to mark those 3 holes, make drill holes, and put screws in it, and it will hold this crack together. There's not going to be a lot of stress on here. I'm not going to sit here. It's not high enough for me to sit here. The only thing that's going to be here really is my legs. And I don't know that this is going to fall apart the way it is, but I'm just going to secure it with this. That will take care of that situation. another thing I did was I put the table in here and the boot tray here instead of the other way around. Somebody brought to my attention with the boot tray here that it was blocking some of the ventilation. It wasn't, it was really only about 4 or 5 inches away, but I took note of that suggestion. And I thought if I traded these things out, and this will cover, because this storage is going to be heaped up to here. By the time I pack for my trip, this storage will be heaped to the top. And this will just kind of cover that eyesore a little bit, just like that. There you have it. And another thing I did was I relocated my dream catcher and I put it right here. I used 2 of those little nails. You know those nails? They're like U-shaped nails they're like with 2 pointy things. One of these. I'm not even sure what they're called. I don't know what the heck they're called. But it's like it's a nail on both ends. So I just placed it right on the thing and I just hammered it right in. And you barely even see it. And I think that that's a good spot for it because I don't want it swinging and I want it near the bed. So I moved it from over there and so that works well for me. So I needed to relocate my clock because it fell. And the reason it fell is because this plastic right here is not straight. There's like a slant. And even where the slant begins right here, now this is the same thing on the other side where I had it. It's not wide enough, the clock would hang down here. So I kind of had it up a little bit and it just wasn't snug enough to the wall. And so it fell. So I decided it needed to be stuck to the metal. And that right down there looks like the best spot for it because I can see it from the bed. I just need to turn my head. I can see it from here, just going like this. And if I'm back here, I just go, hi, and there you go. Not that complicated. And it can always be relocated if I decide that that doesn't work for me. You know, I'm going to go on this trip and likely there's going to be things that I think are the most fabulous ideas that are going to be not good. I'll be like, whoa, I really thought that was going to work. Really thought that was the best space for that. I really thought that was the best spot for that. I really thought I would use that. I really thought this would be perfect right here. And you know, what's really great is you can just change things. You know, I can just change things. And I'll always be working on things that are going to accommodate me, you know. So my friend Bob is coming over tomorrow. We're going to address one last thing that I really think that I would need. I thought that this would just be high enough to just hold my pillows back here so I could sit up in bed. But not only would I think a headboard would be pretty, I think I actually need one. And I know there was like that issue of kind of chopping the space in half. But I really feel like I need one for my comfort. Because it's really going to be my only spot to actually sit and lounge. If I got a rainy day, I'm not sitting on a cooler all day. And I'm not laying in bed all day. I'll sit on the bed. And I need to sit up comfortably, so I will need a backboard here. So I decided that I don't want it to go past here because I want to be able to access this space. So I feel like it's going to be built like this and then probably a little bit past this and then up. And then this hole will be covered with the pillows. But I need that hole right there. I need to put this in and out, and there's so much storage back there, and I want to access it easy. So there's 3 options. I got 3 options, and I haven't decided yet, but I need to decide by tomorrow because Bob is coming over tomorrow morning, and I need to decide by then. So the first option is what he would really love to do because he loves to build. He wants to build me a headboard out of pallets. Just like this. It would look just like this. It would be whitewashed like this. He said we could make the top arch shaped. We could do dog-eared on each slat. We could make them different levels. We could put cutouts in them, all kinds of things. It would be a great project to get creative with. Okay. So that would start right here. This would be cut out right here. It would come up probably about right out to here. It doesn't need to come out to the very edge, right out to here, just as wide as my pillow, really. And then it would come up to the ceiling. And he likes this idea because he gets to build something, and he's very good at it, and he enjoys it. But he also feels like with that choice on this side in the kitchen, I would have this wall here that he could build me some little shelves, like a little spice rack or whatever. So that would be nice too. Although I think I'm all set with storage. I think I'm all set with storage. So that's that option. Then we're going to go back to the other option, which is that gray picture. Remember that gray wooden picture? This is it right here. So what I did was I took the whole back of it off, the mirror off, and now it's just this right here. So this could be installed right here, like this. And he would need to build from the bottom of it something to it. It would all get attached. It would be perfect. That's kind of nice, and it comes out to right the same spot that I was thinking. I love it from this end, but if you look at it from the other end, it's the same design, but it's not as nice because it was the back. So it's not this nice, these little grooves and all the little edges roughed up. It's like that. This one has texture. This is just flat, but it's not the end of the world, but it sure looks pretty. It sure looks nice for a headboard. Whether I kept it this color, or I whitewashed it, or I painted it green, there's all kinds of options with that. So that's option 2. And option 3, we're going to go back to this trellis. It's about the right width. It's 20 inches. It won't block this little passageway. It will just need to be cut down, and it can be easily installed. It's light, it's airy, and it's very pretty. And it will be the most open, airy thing. And it will serve its purpose. It will be the backdrop that I need. So those are my 3 choices. So if you wouldn't mind chiming in and telling me what you think. I would say in the order, all 3 of them would work for me. I know I would love any of them. In the order of preference that's going through my mind right now is that this would be number 1. My second choice would be the gray wall hanging, and probably whitewash it. And then my third option would be the palette, just because I just think that it would likely be beautiful, but I think it would just be too heavy looking and just really, really cut the room in half. So I'm leaning towards this. Simple, easy, and quite lovely. So, but I have till tomorrow morning. I have till tomorrow morning to pick. And I will think about it, and I don't know what I'll pick. Between now and then I could find a really good reason why this wouldn't work. How this wouldn't work as well. Or Bob might come over and say, let me just tell you what you're going to run. It's something that he's thought of that I haven't thought of. So, yeah, give me your thoughts on that. I enjoy the input. You give me some great ideas, and thank you very much. And another thing I worked on over the past couple of days are my little boxes. These are my little cardboard boxes that I covered with That's silver. It was just a peel and stick roll of silver. And look at how nice they look. And I know they're not the same size as the holes, but I'll use this. I'll put something right here, and then I'll use this for little loose things. And then there was the third one. Here's the third one. This was the this was the plastic bungee cord holder. And there's that one. And now I have them. Don't they look nice? I like them. My solar panels have arrived. 2 solar panels, 2 100-watt solar panels from Renogy. It said right on the box, inspect immediately. If damaged, notify seller. So I thought, I think I'll do that, especially where it says that they're fragile, because I think they are made out of glass. So I took them out of the box and I inspected them, because I said if I do that when I get up to have them installed and I find one of them's broken, that would be unfortunate. So I took them out, and while they were out, I put them out in the sun and I hooked them up to my Blue Eddy to see if they worked, because I figured that would be even smarter to make sure they work. And yep, they started cranking wattage. They started bringing in the wattage from the sun. So that was very great news. And with each one of these, with each solar panel came these brackets and all the hardware to install them. So I'll take that with me. And here's my Max Air fan. On the picture, it shows black, but it says it's white lid, because I wanted it to be all white on the top. So it says on the label, white lid. But even though the picture is black, it will be all white. So that will be white. And these are silver, and I'm going to have him, he was going to install them on top of the roof rack. And I asked him if he could install them under the roof rack so that they could be level with the roof rack, instead of making my van another couple of inches higher. So, because I don't want to interfere with being able to get into the garage, getting my van into the garage. And I just want them as low profile as possible for stealth purposes. And so he said he could do that. He'll just drop them down, have them be flush with the top of the roof rack instead of sitting higher. So that's good too. So that's what I have for this update. Just just different little fun things that just make everything just pleasing to my eye, as I plan to live in this for extended periods of time. I look forward to tomorrow when Bob comes over. We'll finalize this headboard. And then on Wednesday, I'm up to see Bill to do the solar and the Max Air fan. And then Thursday, I'm going to get busy on my blue paisley ceiling and get that finalized. And after that, it's done. And I'm going to start packing. And I'll just show you. I'll show you the things that I bring. I'll show you how I organize my things. I like everything in its place. I like everything to be in a logical place that works for me, for access, for functionality. I just think about this stuff. I think a lot. And so it's all good. It's all fun. It's all wonderful. And I've been texting with my daughter, and she's planning on my arrival. And I was just asking her about the parking there, because she's like in an apartment complex kind of a place. And I just wanted to know if there was like assigned parking or if there was visitor spots. But she said there's no assigned parking. So I just want to be able to pick where I want to park, so I can park in the sun, so I can make electricity. But I'd like to be like as close to her door as possible. So I'll just decide when I get there. I just didn't know if I'd be very limited. Like, no, you have to park in the visitor spots, and they're all like under a tree over there. That's not the case. So I'll be able to pick my spot, and then I'm just gonna settle in there for as long as I feel like being there. And for any of you that watched my last video, which was a tour of my garden, some of you are interested in seeing my garden. Some of you are here for van life stuff only. For those of you here that are interested in my gardens, I just want to show you what I've done over the past couple of days. Come on. So I got a lot of help, and we tilled every garden. We just loosened the top, like 4 or 5 inches of soil. We loosened it all up, and then we mixed all that compost from my compost bin. That whole bin of available compost to use is gone. It's been scattered amongst all the gardens. So right here, I planted spinach. From this tag back here is all spinach. And then from this tag here is kale. And then from this tag here is arugula. And then over here, I put some bok choy. From here back is bok choy. And then this whole front right here is all spinach. So this will just be all greens, and this does wonderfully. You can see it's just about, it's not even quite noontime yet, and you can see that the sun is just starting to come over the roof. See how this first board is all lit up. So this is the rest of the day. So half of the day is in the shade. This will be all sun for the afternoon, and I think it's just what greens need. Greens do really well here. So right down in here, I put all bok choy, and at the base of this trellis, I put 3 whole beans, green beans seeds, and they'll grow up here. They'll grow right up here. They do every year. And in these grow bags, I put green beans. I love green beans. I eat a lot of green beans. They produce a lot, but I share a lot too. So that's fun. So this bed right here is all arugula. The whole bed is arugula. And in this little pot right here are some green onions. So I'm hoping that they do well in there. And if they do, I'll transplant them into different areas. This bed right here is all kale. Kale, kale, kale. The entire bed is kale. And over here, I have these different areas. This is mustard greens. Right here is mustard greens. I have them all labeled on those little popsicle sticks. Over here is a lettuce called salad blend, and that's all right here. And then over here is lettuce called Little Gem. It's a type of romaine. And then down this end is spinach. And then over here, this is all kale, spinach, Swiss chard, spinach, butterhead lettuce, and more onions. I'm hoping to get, like I put all onions right here because I'm hoping to get a great big patch of these green onions because these are delish. So that's what I got there. And this bed right here, this entire bed is all bok choy, except for these edges at the base of every one of these poles, and this green bean, green bean, green bean, green bean. So at the base of each one of these poles is a green bean seed, and they'll grow up here, and they'll trellis here. These ones will trellis up there. This right here is all basil. So that's all planted with basil right there. Look at these. You know something? See these chive flowers? These are delicious, and they're so beautiful on a salad. Look at these. Look at how pretty they are. And they're very, very oniony. Oh, look at right there. Look at those. Look at how beautiful those are. And I will pick all of these. The stems of them get a little tough. So all the chives here that do not have a blossom on them Those ones are nice and tender and delicious. But these flowers, you put those in a salad, they look so beautiful because they're just all these purple flowers and they taste like onions. They're so good. They're so delicious, so tender and delicious. And then over here, the mint is coming in, and the mint is wonderful. So we all enjoy the mint here. I like to dehydrate it at the end of the season and use it for tea. Um, you can just put a few leaves in a glass of water and with ice and let it float. You have like a little minty water that works too. So of all the work that we did out here, we did every garden except the big garden. We ran out of steam and we ran out of compost. So what I decided to do was just make the best of this, and whatever happens, happens. And what I did was at the base of each one of these poles, I buried a green bean plant, green bean seed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those, if they do what they do every year, they're going to grow up here and create this big, big, big pile of green beans. I did the same thing for this. And over here, I put more lettuces. Simpson lettuce, butterhead lettuce. So that's what I did with this whole spot. But that was without tilling it, without adding compost to it. And I didn't even weed it. There's leaves still in it. And I just said, you know something? Whatever happens, happens. You know, this whole garden is going to be a whatever happens, happens this year. Because typically I'm right on it and I'm always taking care of it and I'm weeding and I'm you know, helping things to guide things up the trellises and stuff. I'm not going to be around a lot. I'm leaving this all to God. Something tells me if I stay out of it, it might be the most successful. You know, it's either going to be a success and I'm going to have a lot of things, or it's going to just be metza metza, or it's going to be a flop because it was neglected. I'm going to have the sprinklers. All I've done is added the compost, which was just available for me to use, and I just put seeds in that I already had. So if the whole thing is not a success, so what? So what? If I come home from my trips and there's stuff for me to pick and enjoy, terrific. So I'm not going to get too attached to it, but it's going to be an interesting experiment to see what happens when you throw seeds in the ground and just let it go, leave it alone. So we'll see about that. So that's the update for today. Bye for now. Oh.